Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're gonna be jumping into another session of Epic 7 out today. Got some more summoning for you guys. This time around, we're gonna be summoning for the new limited hero, Perfumer Byblis, and, well, just decided to go and do my free 10 pull here. Looks like we got a 5-star, which is nice. See what we end up getting. Nice. A Shadow Wind 7. Very cool. This is the tactical archetype Coley, her artifact, which is a really good one, by the way. So really happy I snagged another copy of that, because it essentially needs to be plus 30 for it to be consistent, right? And if you don't know, these Covenant summons, you can go ahead and set your own wish list for them, which is fantastic. Any unit that is not limited can be put on there along with their artifacts. But yeah, let's go ahead and summon for Byblis here, guys. I can't wait to see how she does. We're gonna jump into Arena, and I want to see, you know, is she actually really that good? I've heard good things about her so far, as in terms of going up against like cleavers and aggro players. But we gotta test things out in person, right, as we always do on the channel. But if you manage to pull her, let me know what you guys think, because this is not the first day that she's been released, right? It's the second day here. I did not actually sit down to pull her and everything yesterday. We were actually just too busy yesterday, kind of bashing Smilegate for all their poor decisions with the update. And they did respond to the concerns, and the main thing is that they are modifying the imprint circuit so that it won't be a full, like, all the base stats and stuff that are going to be increased. They're reducing it all by approximately 50%. They're still keeping the epic nodes and everything. Their reasoning is they want to see how it performs, see if it affects the meta and RTA and stuff. I don't know if I'll believe them if they say that it doesn't, because who knows what the internal data is, right? They can just be like, oh yeah, you know, the data's fine, and we don't see any change. Meanwhile, we're fighting 4,000 defense boss Runkas every single fight. Oh my god. We actually got her before Pity. Ooh, that is good. I like that. But did we want to get the artifact? That is the question. How far are we here? We are... Oh man, we're not even that far in the summons? Oh my goodness. We're only 50 summons in. You know what? I think I'll stop here. We can get a copy of the artifact from the shop. So let's go ahead and build her and then test things out. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look at my Perfumer Byblis build. Went ahead and plus 15 to all of her skills. I think the defense break is pretty good here. The healing, of course, is very good on the passive. You definitely want to max that out. And the skill 3, you definitely want the 100% effect chance here. You could get away with a plus 14. You don't need the last damage dealt enhancement here. So just throwing that out there in case you're trying to preserve some Olagoras. But this is the build that I opted to go for. It's a testing build. It's not necessarily a final build that I'm going to land on, but yeah, we're currently running her on her own artifact. Went ahead and just grabbed it from the powder shop. It's obviously not going to be super consistent because there is no I don't have it at plus 30, and I don't really want to dump bottles of knowledge into this thing, at least not until I've proven that this is really good. But yeah, it's essentially like a Wonders Potion vial, but instead of taking the turn to cleanse, it's every 3 of your enemies' turns you have a chance to cleanse, right? Which is pretty good if your opponent is lapping you guys all the time. But yeah, this is the build I'm currently going with. It's on speed and immunity set, and here are the substats on the right side, but essentially what I went for is a bit of bulk, want at least 20k HP on her, and at least 200 speed. I think is a pretty decent place to be sitting at. She has a decent effectiveness here. About 100 is all you really need. If you're really stingy with it, go for like 85%, because if you can get 15% it anyway. So if your opponent has 100 resistance and you have 85 effectiveness, essentially you have 85% chance to debuff them, barring 15%. And then there's the effect res stat, which I think if you get like at least 100 minimum, it's gonna be pretty decent. It prevents her from getting slept or stunned by like random DPS units, which would, I think, prevent her from activating her passive. So yeah, that's definitely something you want to avoid here, but we'll see how this works in Arena, so let's go and test her out. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into our first showcase here against this, well, the speediest team I could find. I found some more meta defense teams that are kind of bulkier, but this is a good start here. I will have to admit, I just started the arena season here, so we're still in like Challenger 1 or whatever, so we'll be climbing back up the champion relatively soon. Perfumer Byblis against this kind of AoE damage team. Now, if you don't know what Byblis does, we'll go in and discuss her kit. She has the ability to, whenever your opponent takes a turn, stack up a buff on all of your allies that increases your max health, but also allows you to inflict reflect damage onto your opponent, which is actually really good. You'll see that like lingering fragrance buff that's on everyone. Is that with the petal icon? Right, it's pretty good. So we'll see here, the Rinok did take a little bit of reflect damage there, right? And Maid is obviously helping to prevent a bunch of chip damage onto everybody here. See what the Bihu does. Ooh, the burns, the unbuffable. Ooh, no. It's a lot of damage there. Water's Origin keeping us sort of alive. Let's see if Hua Young actually, look, she already like lost almost half her health here. Does she go down? She does go down. Look at that guy. She disappeared from the face of the earth. And we get to cleanse, right? Because someone went below half HP, we get to cleanse, and we get to go ahead and heal and get a little barrier as well. So Maid lost the barrier because of the burn, but if you look at the lingering fragrance, every time it stacks, you increase max health by 5%, and you reflect 8% of the damage suffered back to the attacker. Any reflected damage cannot be higher than their max health, so you can't just like one-shot them, but still, this thing can stack up to 5 times. You're seeing that my units are pretty bulky. My mate Chloe here is like 28,000 HP, which is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and just skill 1 here so we can push up combat readiness of my other units. Vivian is going to skill 3, that's fine. And then Bihu's going to come in as well with some damage here. Ooh, never mind. We get to go for this. Now, Byblis on her skill 3 grants effectiveness to herself. It's kind of like a DDR skill, right? His S2 mixed with his skill 3. She does when inflict redirected provoke onto everyone for a turn and has a 100% chance to inflict venom for 2 turns. The only issue with this is that she doesn't strip buffs. So if I use this right now, it actually doesn't do anything because Bihu has like immunity. Everyone has immunity here, which kind of sucks. So we're actually just going to go ahead and skill 1. If I soul burn the skill 1, which we don't have enough souls for, it would actually allow me to dual attack with the highest attack ally. Oh my god, look at that damage onto the Yoha. That's actually perfect for me though, because now I can come in and, you know what, let's go ahead and finish off the Rinok first. We'll let the Vivian skill 2, because I kind of want to see what happens when all the reflect damage stacks up. By the way, that reflect damage, it's 8% damage per stack. So Vivian just got evaporated there. Yeah, you pretty much don't want to mess with these stacks here. If you're cleaving, Perfumer Byblis is definitely a unit that is quite scary. With like AoE damage dealers like Commander Pavel, definitely had a huge disadvantage going to those fights. So here's a test for us to go ahead and try. My opponent has a Freerin on their defense team, as well as an Afternoon Soak Flan, so this is actually great. Afternoon Soak Flan's super annoying because of her evasion, and Freerin, we all know, is pretty much immune to all damage besides like fixed damage or other gimmicky means of applying damage through that shield that she has. So one of the things we have here is reflect damage, and Freerin kind of does a lot of damage. So, yeah. Where'd the free ring go? Oh, it's great. Okay, what we're gonna do now is test out Byblis' skill 3. She does provide the effectiveness buff to herself, by the way, so that's why we're only running about 100 effectiveness, because then you get 150, and it's usually enough to debuff even things like Boss of Runka, units that are normally running 100 to 150 effect resistance, right? It actually does help her out quite a bit in terms of lowering the gear requirements. We have Xeno going, which is cool, because now I can go ahead and skill 3 here, although I think I want to ooh, do we actually want to try doing the skill 1? I don't know if I'll really care about ignoring effect resistance. Let's just go for it. Let's go for the skill 3. We're cutting their evasion by 50% anyway. There you go. Pretty decent damage there. Setsuga's attacking, but it's fine. Oh, but what was that? Reflect damage? Oh, it's great, guys. Let's go ahead and just burn the skill 3. Why not? We'll see if we can do anything here. Honestly, I don't know why I brought the Dark Corvus. He's too slow. So, oh, there he is. Finally, he's able to go. He is a really beefy, bulky guy, but look at him. He's almost 40k health with these buffs from the the fragrance, right? My Dark Chorus normally is about 33k health, just for reference. We got like 5k more health just from those buffs, which is insane. So we got another free run game for you guys, but this time around, let's take out the Yoha from the team, because we know it's unrealistic to always have a Yoha there, who also has a passive ability that allows you to reflect damage onto your opponents, right? So let's see how long it would actually take us, just through normal means of fighting a free run, to kind of get rid of her here, right? She is going to go first, and if she goes later, you'll have more stacks of the buff, so you'll reflect more damage. But here we see about 1,000 something damage, right? Not a whole ton. It's fine. I actually am running a Blood Moon Haste here just for fun, so we'll see how that goes. We got a little bit of healing from him to sustain the team. LRK with the barriers will eventually get the immunity buff as well, which is what I'm kind of hoping for, so we don't get stunned by this Tywin. But hey, Freerun's gonna come in for round number 2, guys. Look at the reflect damage starting to pile up. Unfortunately for the Freerun, we actually do have quite a bit of fixed damage here coming from Seaside Bellona. Yeah, there you go. So down she goes. After Zogflong, I'm gonna push up push up his Tywin, which is a little unfortunate. But the good thing is, my Byblis has been pushing up as well in terms of combat readiness. Unfortunately, my opponent ignores res here with the Tywin because he has the rage buff, but it's okay. Everyone's gonna lose their turn, but it's quite all right here. And let's see what happens. Ooh, there's the S1. Okay, we see the Byblis actually healed there, which is good, or cleansed, because my opponent's been taking so many turns, right? Let's go in with the skill 3. Blood Moon Haste actually allowed us to get that buff, right? The immunity buff and the barrier as well, so that's kind of cool, because the last Rider Crow went down. Keep in mind, my units basically haven't taken a turn yet, besides Seaside Bellona kind of doing her counters and S2s. Like, LRK didn't go, Blood Moon Haste didn't go, and Byblis didn't go, so it's actually a good showcase of how much damage Reflect is doing here, which is absolutely ridiculous. But let's apply the Venoms, and then detonate that, so we can decrease the max health of everyone on the opponent's side, which helps out quite a bit, because look at what we're doing. Massive amounts of damage. Let's get rid of the Tywin. There you go, decent damage there, and then Blood Moon Haste can kind of finish things off, and we can also bring back our beloved Last Rider Crow here to top things off, so there you go. Yeah, pretty solid team, guys. I would say if you're playing turn 2, if you're playing tank down, Byblis is a must-have. So going into this match here, I'm admittedly not very confident in my team, but looking at my opponent here, we have Lady of the Scales and BBK. BBK is typically going to be in the front line of the team here, and her damage is pretty high, and what I'm going to do here is bring in Fire Charlotte and my Assyria, so hopefully we can counter and do like AoE counters and stuff against our opponent. That'd be really cool. I also brought in Hecate. She has her new EE. I got the 20% damage reduction one sitting on her right now, which helps her stay alive, hopefully, in this scenario. Hecate is not going to be really good because the Boss Runga's in the front. Okay, I guess that makes sense that BBK wouldn't be in the front here. Alright, well, I guess this makes things a little bit easier. Let's go for a skill 1 so that we can go into stealth. That can kind of help us out a little bit. And we'll see if we can deal enough damage to actually make a difference here. We'll see. Who knows? Byblis, though, is going to start stacking up these buffs on my units, namely Assyria, who's kind of slow and pretty far back here, right, which is kind of nice. Oh, very good damage. Huge damage, actually. Boss Runga's gonna come in. This will probably be her only turn because she'll probably go down. Yeah, we got the resistance there, so nothing stopping us. Boom. The Boss Runga goes down, and honestly, this might actually be the end for this BBK too. Let's see. Rip the skill 3. Hecate's kind of just sitting there. Okay, actually not quite. Lady of the Scales is gonna push up. BBK might not take a turn still. I don't know. Don't know if the injury detonation is going to finish off the opponent with the Byblis here. Oh, actually, or if I just keep countering, I guess that's pretty cool too. But yeah, I guess in a bruiser v bruiser fight, Byblis kind of loses the value of the stacks a little bit. It does make your team just harder to kill for sure, and you have the injury, the venom and stuff that you got in your skill 3. So in the end, I don't think she's actually that bad of an option. Like, look at this Assyria. I don't know if we get the chance to see her HP here. Probably not. But with 5 stacks, guys, this Assyria is going to be absolutely insane in terms of her HP values. Yeah, we won't be able to see it, but just insane stuff. If your units are slower and don't take a turn, your opponents take turns before you. Yeah, Byblis is pretty solid in these types of matchups as well. Alright guys, for this test here, we're actually going to be trying something a little bit different. My opponent is running like an opener, but then some really slow units here. I'm going to jump in here with a Genesis Roz and Nurse. We're going to try to double the HP of this Genesis Roz with Nurse's superhumanization, and then we're going to let the fragrance buffs kind of stack. This para takes 2 turns, right, with an extra turn here, so we get at least 10% more HP, which is kind of ridiculous. Now, unfortunately, my opponent's units aren't that fast, so we won't be able to stack more here. Maybe we'll find another team where we might be able to try this out, but I was kind of curious and I wanted to give this a shot. We're also currently running Xeno, which decreases my opponent's evasion, so that we can hit the Setsuka here. But yeah, Superhumanized Roz, we're at 62,000 HP. The main thing we gotta remember is do not go for a skill 2 here with the Roz, just go for a skill 3, because this will go away after 1 turn. So let's just go ahead and rip the skill 3, see how much damage we do. I mean, I don't know, right? Not sure how much we're gonna end up doing here. Oh, now that is kinda nasty, guys. Look at that damage. Also, by the way, still doing reflect damage, so pretty decent stuff. And yeah, if everyone's gonna be hitting my units here that have reflect damage while they're so low from the Genesis Roz, not great for them. Let's go for the skill 3. Got the effectiveness buff here. Byblis, by the way, with the HP stacking so fast, it's kind of wild. Ooh, easy peasy, guys. Let's see if we can actually land a debuff here. Nope, no frostbite. That's okay. We'll just go for the skill 3. This should still finish everybody off. If we get the frostbite, we'll at least get a defense buff and stuff, do more damage. But this is quite all right too. Yeah, look at the reflect damage from this like boss room attacking, like just 600 reflect damage here and there. It's gonna make a pretty big difference, right? Genesis Roz 64,000 HP with 3 stacks. That is pretty solid. Let's see if we can actually get a hit here. Beautiful. Another hit there. Beautiful. Thank you, Xeno. And detonate. There you guys go. Genesis Roz stacking quite well with this max HP buff that Byblis gives, and even though it is a temporary buff, it's still a really strong one. Moving on to another showcase here where we got quite an aggressive team on the other side. We have Shepherd of the Dark DN, a Wanderer Silk, probably for the speed imprints and stuff, a Sylvan Sage Vivian, I don't know how fast she is, and a Genesis Roz. So I'm gonna bring in this kind of really tanky Lady of the Scales Empyrean Ilanov team with a, with my Monarch of the Sword of Syria in the back. We're gonna see if we can survive this. The Shepherd of the Dark DN doesn't have a soul burn, obviously, on the opponent's side to fully utilize her kit, but we'll still see if we can deal some good reflect damage here and everything. So Lady of the Scales gets sealed, but honestly we don't really care about her passive right now. And oh my god, that's a lot of damage onto my opponent. Okay, let's go for some injury onto the Genesis Roz, why not? Just go for the skill 3 here. By the way, if you have any HP scaling damage dealers who are on counter set, this is a really good time to utilize a lingering fragrance to buff your max health to help you deal even more damage. We're gonna try that with a few counter units later, but right now Empyrean Ilanov is in the front line here, so technically she counts, right? A lot of chip damage being applied here. Boom, Byblis proccing because we did fall below half health on our Empyrean Ilanov, and down goes the opponent's Sylvan Sage Vivian, right? The Wanderer Silk's gonna come in afterwards, but I think it's a little too late here. It's a lot of damage being applied to our opponent. And let's just go for a skill 3. So yeah, if you have units that can counter, we'll even use like fun units here. I'm gonna try to use Stark in a match, see if he can do anything. He is relatively fast though, so I don't know if he's gonna cycle out of his buffs or not. We'll see. I also don't really want a skill 3 here because only the DN is going to be affected, and not the Genesis Roz, so he's going to skill 3 us, it's all good. He's going to get some reflect damage here. Ooh, actually, I wonder if he's going to get 7,000 something reflect damage. Let's see. No, yeah, I should have known. Not really. Mostly because we have Empyrean Ilanov mitigating the damage, right? With the defense penetration resistance, and we have Indomitable and everything here too. So let's just go for this, finish off the DN. Or not. We'll finish off the actually, hang on. We should be able to finish off the DM with my Byblis here, so let's go for the skill 3. got the effectiveness buff. Let's see if we can land these Venoms. She's really good in a standard v standard matchup as well, I'd say, with inflicting these injuries, right? You essentially render your opponent's units kind of useless in a fight if they have a bunch of HP scalers, which is pretty decent. So even in a war of attrition against two tanky teams, I think she still brings value, so she's never really bad to have. Now here's a little interesting team for you guys. We're going to be going up against a Saria opening damage dealer with Ahmed, along with a tanky pairing of Yolha and Lady of the Scales. I just didn't really know how to approach this, so let's take care of it together, I guess. We are bringing in Hecate so that this Lady of the Scales won't really be able to keep this Yolha alive, and in case she is on something like Holy Sacrifice, then we'll prevent the revives too, right? So my Bunny Dom is going to help us stay alive because we have the skill null, right? The skill effect nullifier as well, and Saria is going to come in. Unfortunately, the reflect damage doesn't do anything, even though my opponent is taking so many turns because she has invincibility and skill nullifier, which absolutely sucks for me, but it's okay. I'm going to let my opponent turn cycle here. They're a relatively fast team. We will be able to go for a skill 3 here on our Bunny Dom, get the Vigor buff and everything, which is really powerful for my team. And I'm hoping that Bellona, there we go, I'm hoping that Bellona can break some skill nulls here. That'd be great. Beautiful stuff. Unfortunately, Yolha is still invincible here. Now, the unfortunate thing is, because we don't actually strip buffs, that's one thing I think people need to realize, is that you can't strip buffs on the skill 3. We're so used to everyone stripping buffs that because the invincibility is there, we won't actually be able to deal damage. So I'm going to hold off on her skill 3, and let's just go with Bellona. Let's just go with some attacks. Oh my god, she's at 28k health, guys. That's absolutely ridiculous. Let us go for a skill 1 with the Hecate there. There's a lot of damage here being going on right now, but I want to hold on to my Hecate here, mostly because I need to be able to like burst down this Yolha right immediately. Okay, so there we go, got the skill 2 there. Unfortunately, the Saria actually hit my Hecate out of stealth, which I really don't appreciate. Can we sleep the Saria? That'd be wonderful. Oh, beautiful stuff, guys, beautiful stuff. I don't know if I want a skill 3 now. If I go into the Yolha and we don't one-shot and she procs, that'd be a bit of an issue. So I'm gonna go for the Ahmed here, kind of spreading out the damage a little bit. Okay, boom, good stuff. Got the stealth, great. And now I think is the time for us to come in with a skill 3. So let's see if we can actually get some Venoms, get some injury on everyone. That'll make this, yeah, that'll make this Yolha a lot less scary. Oh my god! Got the damage share applies to the Venom too. Okay, well there you go. Byblis is going to be activating. Good heal, good barrier. That's a 7,000 HP heal, guys. That is hard to beat. We still have a turn of Vigor, so let's extend it by a few turns here. Go with a skill 3 on the Bellona because we stacked up some injury on our opponents. And there you go. That synergy with the Bellona and the Byblis is also pretty nice. I like that. Right, so we actually didn't need to save Hecate's skill 3 here, so let's just go and rip that into the Ahmed before she can put up every buff on the planet onto the Saria. There you go, 32k damage, pretty nice. And that was not a Soulburn dual attack, that was a random dual attack, but I'll take it. I will absolutely take it, and that is pretty good. Sneaking in a little bonus clip here, we got Perfumer Byblis on the opponent's side, so decide to try and jump into this here, see if we can cleave this team. I don't know. Typically, you know, you want to avoid cleaving into Byblis, but because we're in control here, and despite the Aria, it's not a Bellion, so we can Soulburn. And with that, Numa Luna should be able to seal this Byblis so that they don't get stacks of their the fragrance, right? And we can see it's working. Veritas, though, the artifact will still be proccing, so it's a little bit scary. That's okay. We should be able to push everybody back. And at this point, even if they cleanse, there's nothing that they can really do about it. Let's see if... Ooh, very nice. Good bombs onto everybody here. Let's just go ahead and rip the skill 3. See if we can detonate those bombs. Good damage. And, oh, Byblis actually, oh, it's a counter Byblis. That's quite interesting. Alright, let's come in with a skill 3 onto the Genesis Roz. We should be able to just finish him off here. This team is actually quite tanky and resilient on the other side. I'm a little bit surprised here, actually. Byblis has a cool stun animation. Let's go ahead and skill 2 into her. Try to get rid of her as soon as possible here. There we go. We can actually go for a... Well, I guess it doesn't really matter if Rimuru attacks us, right? Let's just go for this. Oh, no, he is sealed. Never mind. Ooh, look at that. She does cleanse. Let's go ahead and put a bomb on her here. She does... Ooh, she does go for her passive proc, yeah. But it's okay. He doesn't actually cleanse everything off of everybody. We're good. Yuma Luna gets to come in, and oh my god, this is actually... It's actually quite difficult to cleave this team, guys. Given, you know, I'm not using like Anti-Cleave or anything here, I probably should have instead of the Summertime Assyria. But yeah, this is quite tricky. Let's go for the Byblis herself. We're eating some reflect damage now. Oh my goodness. Summertime Assyria, thank you very much. Very good. Let us just detonate with the skill 3 once again. That will at least let us get rid of the Byblis, right? Please. What was supposed to be a quick and easy match turned into something a lot scarier. Okay, cool. Now we only have an MLRA to deal with. That is nice. Yeah, and I guess after this we'll do one more match to try to showcase Byblis, and hopefully I can find an aggressive team. I've been refreshing the arena and just doing other fights along the side because I can't find any aggressive defense teams. It's really rare to find them, honestly, so I am glad that we got to see them earlier on. But maybe the next one we'll do a more bruiser v bruiser fight. Never mind, guys, we do not need to do a bruiser v bruiser fight. Those would take forever anyway. Let's end things off with a bang, because I found the perfect little cleave team here. Unfortunately for us, though, there is a Lady of the Scales on the other side, which makes this a little bit trickier than it seems. But we should be able to go in here. We have Bossarunka, Empyrean, Ilanov, Last Rider Crowd. We're just tanking down here for our lives, because we're about to get smacked by a Hua Young, a Freerin, and a Bryceria, so let's just see what happens, right? This Hua Young might hurt quite a bit, even though we have defense penetration resistance. Yeah, look at that, about a third of our HP gone, including, this was with a barrier mitigating damage too. Bryceria is going to come in skill 3, we got a barrier from the LRK, unfortunately he's defense broken, so... Do we get the good reflect damage here? Ooh, okay. Even with that reflect damage is not enough because my god, the Lady of the Scales mitigating damage here is not great for me. We do get to take a turn though, so I do get Indomitable and such up, so let's go for that. We really just need Bride Witch Assyria to take another turn, otherwise we're not really dealing damage through that immortality here, are we? Go for a skill 3 onto the bystander, or not the bystander, Argent Waves Hua Young. Keeps calling her bystander. Strip that attack buff, please. Okay. Oh, no, we didn't. Ooh, I don't like that. Good amount of damage onto her, though. Let's see how much damage is onto the Freerin. Only 6,000 health. That's a lot of damage, then, from this Freerin. Pushing up the team. Okay, good chip damage there. Let's see if we can actually strip. Oh, no, we can't strip here. Let's redirect provoke, everyone. Let's see. We can't strip, but we can at least redirect provoke. Come on. Okay. Alright. Pretty cool. It's a good amount of venom damage. Is the main reason I wanted to go for that there. I wonder if redirect provoke actually bypass. It might actually bypass the Bossarunka. Anyway, we're gonna skill 3. We have 5 stacks here on our LRK. 37,000 HP LRK. Okay, there we go. Beautiful stuff. And yes, redirect provoke does bypass, so that is good to know. Let's go ahead and... Oh man, Bryceria. Oh my gosh, that was Bryceria's immortality. I don't think that was Lady of the Scales. Now we have Lady of the Scale proccing. I'm glad I was able to finish off everyone then on the previous turn. So now we're just gonna ride this out into the sunset here. But yeah, guys, this Perfumer Byblis, what do you guys think about her? I think overall, she's actually a really solid unit. Obviously a little bit less useful in bruiser v bruiser situations, but I will say that she still has quite a bit of utility because she carries the venom. The only downside to her kit as of right now what I can see is that she doesn't strip, and that can cause a bit of issues sometimes. Not that I want every unit to be able to do every single thing. I think it's a good thing. I think she's balanced in the fact that she doesn't strip the opponents, because otherwise the effectiveness buff, along with how relatively easy it is to build her stats, would make her quite a menace. This makes her right now a pretty big threat to aggro teams and cleave teams, which I think is pretty decent given that there pretty much exists no anti-cleave or anti-aggro units in the game anymore. But with that being said though, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.